Cole.
Oh, there we go.
I think he's the head
You got it?
scientist on this
Yep.
Devil's Breath project.
So yeah, like I said, how's it going, everyone? You know who I am. I just too tired to fully introduce myself, and as you know, I am once again joined by Brian and Sam for another episode
Hello.
of Spider-Man.
Hi.
This episode is episode 13, Uninvited.
A little slideshowy on the video, but it does let you focus on how well they did the lighting at night, which I don't think we had really talked about too much before. I was thoroughly impressed with that. Granted, it's not like top shelf ray tracing on the PS4, but
Oh, on the PS5.
still super impressive. For look at all those individual lights, and they reflect shadows and stuff. It's incredible.
Oh no, I wholeheartedly agree. Like,
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I know it's super choppy on you, and again, it's the computer that I'm using. This laptop is like from 2017.
But I bet he works on the Devil's Breath project.
Well,
Have you learned anything from that
Still.
Devil's Breath file?
you know, yeah, like even the interior lighting and then some of the exterior stuff, you know, mixing into each other. Yeah, like I said, I've always been thoroughly impressed with
Yeah,
a
like,
lot of the little details in this.
oh no, me too. Like I love the rain. I love like the steam coming out of the vents, and I love how detailed the flags are in this game too.
Oh, sure. No, there's not much that really breaks the illusion up close or at a distance. You know, there's a few things they can't get perfect, and we obviously had some of the game engine cutscene glitches and stuff, but generally speaking, for as expansive as this game has been, or rather is, there's so little that goes graphically wrong with it. It's super impressive.
Oh no, like I'm glad, like you guys can still get an idea of what the gameplay is like in this.
Oh yeah, it's been
Oh, it's great.
fantastic. You know, just going back and even replaying it after not touching it for a while, watching video footage, all that. Of course, I was in anticipation for the second one coming out.
Oh
but-
yeah, I'm looking forward to, and from what I've gathered from the gameplay, Parker Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man, or they may do what they did in its Creed, I think what was it, Syndicate, where you where each character has their own set of missions. I'm not sure if it's drop in, drop out, or if it's gonna be, or they even have an online multiplayer thing. Go on.
I don't know how well a multiplayer would work, depending on how it's done. I mean, if they did it like, say like the way Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did it, or like Elden Ring, where you bring somebody in for specific missions, so like you're boxed in, like you can only play in that certain area. Like say if you're gonna do the hideouts or something, that might work. But open world like that might be a bit much to process. To guys running around.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Yes.
how they're gonna do it. I know a lot of people. Speaking of online multiplayer, a lot of people aren't happy how the new Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game is looking.
My complaint there is I'm really not a fan of single-player games having to have a required online. Not that it's an issue for me because I always have it going, but
I don't get. I thought when I first saw it, and this is no disrespect on Rocksteady. They've made a great. I mean, they made a bunch of great Batman, the Arkham series. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just like, I thought you can like choose who your character. I thought you could choose who your character is, and then like if you didn't want people to do if you didn't want people to join you,
It also likes the inside of the
character selection. I thought the cinematics looked really good, but the more I see and hear about gameplay, and then the fact that they delayed it again is probably an indication that it's not going to be up to par at release.
Sorry, what's that
at the
talking in the
original release.
background? I'm just, for anyone who's wondering, Sam's talking about their dog people, not
Sorry.
any innuendo jokes or anything.
Yeah.
We're professional on this channel. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
No inappropriate jokes are made. It's just he wanted yogurt.
He's talking about other people making jokes about you talking about food hounds and stuff like that, Sammy.
Well, my
Talked about
dog
culturing
lives
the
for
dog.
food, man.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be this is a 20-minute episode, and this mission had me on edge, but by making sure to avoid the spotlight things.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, there was some of those that.
And this is on a regular difficulty, but it still makes you nervous.
Well, sure, and that's another thing too about how well thought out different sections of this game was, with the camera usually being your perspective changes. The fact that this one still just fluidly it stayed blocked to where you needed it and it was the most advantageous, and then still having the ability to fine tune it. Because there's been some games where the camera is your biggest enemy across the board. And this one, I found it to be like one of your best friends. It's stealth missions, stuff like this, where you're avoiding like the drones, any of that. It always worked exactly as well as it needed to. And I don't think I ever had any camera problems.
I'm kind of
these. What's that?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say missions like this or any of the others where you think that it would get in your way, like the occlusion or objects blocking you. I can't think of an instance where I was like, damn it, I would have won if it hadn't been for the camera.
I'm curious on what the gameplay for Spider-Man 2 is going to be about. Like, don't give me how shiny their suits look in the game in the trailer.
We'll see. That might be just in-game stuff, or it could be the material. There might be an in-game explanation. My guess is it's going to be more of the same but better, and it's going to follow the same mechanics.
Agree. And to keep with continuity, Peter Parker's face is going to be the new face model to stay with continuity.
Yeah, whatever.
They ruined his perfectly good face.
Well, it's,
I'll still play it. It doesn't matter.
Again, the theory I heard is that
A little busy right now.
it's theories, rumors. I've seen the most consistent one is how the it's something about how the original mocap face model didn't want to come back, so, or he got old, or he was unavailable or something. So when they made Spider-Man Miles Morales, and that's the reason why they changed it, because they couldn't get the original mocap guy back, so it's either we wanted to make him look his age, like he's like he's a high schooler.
Yeah, it's a complaint, but overall minor because the gameplay's still the same. But the character model definitely didn't fit how he looks in the suit as opposed to walking around as Peter. But whatever. It's what it is.
The one thing that, like, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the face model. It's just the one thing that bugged me is seeing the comparison scene when he feels betrayed by Otto. From the new, from like the PS5 version to the PS4 version, it's like there's not a whole lot of facial emotion. He doesn't seem like sad or angry when Otto betrays him. Same with like when Aunt May's dead. Where there's just not a whole lot of facial expression.
Yeah, I still say that a lot of that has to do more with how well written the characters are, and then how well developed and how invested you are. Realistically, if the newer face model had come out, I wouldn't be a complaint, even if it went the other direction. Like we got the new one that we have now, and then it went to the old one. It's a minor thing. I don't like it, but what I'm getting at is that it's still no less engaging because it's performed perfectly. The story, you're just really engaged. It was really jarring though if you'd already played through the original version and you've become attached to these characters, the way they look and the way they sound, the association. So that was a little off, but otherwise, it's still, these guys just killed it with how they did the characters and the dialogue and the actor's performance. So
wholeheartedly agree on that. Yeah.
If you'd started off with the new face, you go through, you need to have that same affiliation and emotional attachment. The ugly.
One infected subject could trigger a global epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bioweapon.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's a bioweapon. Quick! Someone call Chris Redfield and Leon Kennedy.
Yeah. Where's the Umbrella logo? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, the reward is worth the risk.
Speaking of, what did you think of the gameplay the demo gameplay released for the Resident Evil 4 remake?
Looks interesting. That comes out in a couple days?
The 24th of this month.
Yeah.
Oh, they did a remake?
Yeah, they're rebooting. Well, except for the first game, they rebooted 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, one got a remaster, and then they're remaking from 2 on.
Yeah, one got a remaster. They basically so the original remaster, so the remaster for Resident Evil is just basically a remastered version of the PS1 version. It originally came out for GameCube.
No, it didn't.
Oh, PS2?
PlayStation 1.
No,
was the original release.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the remaster they did for PS.
I thought you were talking about the original release. Is like, I bought it day one.
The original came out for PS1, and then the remastered came out for PS. No, for
I don't trust
GameCube.
Sable to contain something.
They basically, it's the same game, just the graphics were modernized.
Yeah, and then they got rid of the tank controls and all that fun stuff.
Oh, you never liked how you had to like press the up arrow,
Okay.
down arrow.
At the time when it was released, I didn't care because there was nothing else like it. You know, it wasn't until like say Metal Gear Solid or some of the others that changed the controls. You know, well, you know, you got to start somewhere. We wouldn't have games like this Spider-Man here if it wasn't for some of these other guys. Like, hey, this is what I'd like, but we're restricted. You know, because that was also the one of the first releases. Didn't have the DualShock 2, so there was no thumbsticks. It was all D-pad.
And the one thing that like irked me, I remember playing Onimusha 2, Dawn of the Samurai. It was made by Capcom, I think.
Sounds right.
And yeah, it was Onimusha. Onimusha 2 came out for the PS2, and it had that you had to press like the up arrow to turn this way, or like left, right, and you had to use that
Looks like Doc checked
the analog stick, the analog buttons. The arrow.
Yeah, there was a few games that worked with back in the day. Project Overkill and a few others that were like Isometrics, Crusader, and what have you, because they're Diablo. Didn't work as well as they could have, but it still was before the DualShock 2s. But once again, you gotta crawl before you can walk, and then run, and then eventually swing. If it hadn't been some of those guys innovating certain gameplay mechanics, we wouldn't have had this.
Oh no, like I love, like, I'm a fan of the analog sticks because it makes maneuvering around so much more easier.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they had to start with the digital stuff first.
Oh yeah,
and then,
like back in the days of good old Metal Gear, Dino Crisis, Parasite Eve, you had to use the up arrow. If you wanted to move up, you have to press the up. You want to turn, you have to press the left or right one.
Oh yeah, because the tank controls were a thing for quite a while, and then the DualShock 2 and Metal Gear Solid kind of changed that, and then everybody started jumping forward from there. It's a lot harder to go back to that than it is to go from starting and going up. It's crazy.
I'm sure it's like doable, but for someone like
sure, especially when you come up on analog being the norm.
Well, like imagine using the old Resident Evil mechanics fighting these guys.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, there's no way. Well, if the gameplay would have to suffer for it and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
no, like.
Lucky day.
I knocked him in the water.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's that.
See, I love like games like this, where the area you're in is like a good chunk of like the area is manipulative. Like you can grab someone and like swing him and knock him into a bunch of guys, or grab a trash can and just the trash can breaks.
Oh yeah, when it all becomes contextual for the fight. That's kind of what I was saying. If they were going to do that for the multiplayers, if they like blocked off these little sections, like your little arena of fighting, whether it's the hideout or a park setting or something like that, you might be able to pull that off. Because if you notice during the rest of the course of the game, you can't do the same things you can during a fight, and it's seamless of a transition.
Same with
it's great.
Oh no, hardly is like. And the one thing I don't get, speaking of the multiplayer games, what were your thoughts on when Gotham Knights came out? And that was it was made by the same game company that made Arkham Origins, which I can't remember. Like it wasn't Rocksteady. It was Warner Brothers Montreal.
Yeah. Well, I didn't buy it. If that tells you anything.
Same.
I liked it. The game, like, it's just, I was a little bummed that they wanted to move up from previous gen to new gen, and looking at the gameplay, I think these gaming companies need to, like, I get it. You don't want to release the game right away because you want it to look good. You want it to play good. Cyberpunk 2077 is a good example of, a game that should wait to be released.
Well, that poor thing has a very torrid history despite what everybody's talking about, the 8 years and stuff, they didn't. But yeah, that was released way early.
And I mean, I'm glad that the developers got finally the chance to fix it. it was just a few years too late.
Yeah, I still went through it the first time around. I didn't really have anything game breaking.
I played it. There was like a few glitches. It's just
Out and didn't have all the game breaking ones that a lot of people had.
oh no,
but-
I neither did I. Like I
For
it
what?
was-
For what game?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
26, the one that Keanu Reeves was like helping promote.
Yeah, Johnny
Oh.
Silverhand.
Yeah,
It's great.
CD Projekt Red got Keanu Reeves to help promote the game because he also not only did he voice the character, he also was a mocap.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
it's him. I've got his action figure over on the shelf.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny something.
Silverhand.
Johnny
Yeah.
Silverhand. Yeah.
Yep, from the Neuromancer and all that stuff by Gold. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited about Gotham Knights, and then I read more about it, and it's like does not look good.
The game. I'm not trying to shit.
So
on
I just
the
watched
game.
all the cutscenes because I don't want to play the game. I'll just
I'm not
watch
trying
it.
to, I like the fact you can choose between the 4 of Batman's children. No, wait, 4.
Time to move.
You can choose
Yeah.
between the 4, and each character, like all the missions, no matter who you pick, the mission's gonna be the same. It's just the dialogue is gonna be different, and that's it.
Yeah,
And of course, their fighting style, like the dialogue, and
I like Red Hood.
oh yeah, like I also
Well,
like.
I think that they need to learn from previous mistakes, like with the Avengers.
Mhm.
Give me a second. I'll be off camera. The Avengers really should have taught people about releasing the game in a certain state.
I mean, and
Oh, yeah.
I was a little sad that the Guardians of the Galaxy game, it did really good.
It was
but-
fantastic. I love that one.
I do too.
But the Avengers game left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah, I was hesitant on Guardians. I think I got it for Christmas, and I was like, "Wow, this is fantastic," but not that it fully made up for Avengers. Although the single-player part of Avengers was great, it was the rest of it that just fell apart really quickly.
I couldn't do that. So we got about 5 more minutes to go. Usually I don't like doing this early, but just to save on time. Brian and Sam, would you guys like to promote yourselves by letting people know where they can find you on social media, starting with Brian?
Well, under Nightingale Studios on Facebook, and Luna Stardust on Instagram, though I'm still not all that active, but I'm around.
And Sam, would you like to promote yourself by letting people know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so my Facebook is saving. No. Instagram is Saving Grayson. My Facebook is Grayson Cosplay Studios.
I think from now on, I'm gonna do that at the try to do that at the beginning of the episode, and
Sure.
also towards the end, just in case people forget. And of course, you guys know me. You know where y'all can find me. You can even now find me. Find my Facebook page. Wayne the Unknown is now officially on Facebook.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like you know what? I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. It's like, all right, it's time to finally put on Facebook.
Sorry,
Well,
I haven't talked a lot today. Like my brain feels like it's been.
Oh no, I've been busy, and I know Sam, you were busy with your custom Mando cosplay for an event coming up
That's
soon.
important.
Yeah. Then I'm working on a Batgirl, but the last 2 days I've had such a bad migraine.
Which version of back or old new 52?
There's Standish.
It's basic. I was trying to do the Arkham Knight one, but that didn't quite go as I wanted it to.
Oh,
so
so,
it's
like,
just gonna be an original design.
Hey,
Good.
And sometimes original is always best. I think the most common one I've seen, it was quite a bit in the past few years, was her New 52 look.
Close.
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
just
say
wanted
that's
to
what
do
I've seen the
something
most.
different. I was trying to see if I could recreate something like I did with Nightwing. So I'm using fabric on the ab pieces. So I used like a stretchy fabric, covered it in that, and then used a mesh over it. So hopefully it looks right.
And for anyone watching, there may not be any fun facts in this. This is more of a slight filler episode again, because there's not really much to do any fun facts in this one.
No, you're just running around swinging through a slideshow in this case, right? It's all right.
It's once I can get a better computer. It's fun on my end. It's just I know on your guys' end, it's like really
Yeah.
really.
No, it's just a great game all the way around. Like I said, across the board, it's just a blast to watch even somebody
Oh,
else
yeah,
play it because you
yeah.
get so focused when you're playing it yourself, you miss a lot of little things too.
Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and I also do like the attention, the shining effect on Charles's glasses.
I'm not with the demons.
MJ kind of looks a little bit like Ellie from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Speaking of, I can't wait for season 2 of The Last of Us to come out on HBO Max.
As long as they don't cancel it. Like they're canceling everything else, it seems like.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know if it's true, but I heard from a friend that HBO Max is not gonna be HBO Max anymore. It's just gonna be called Max.
Something. Well, there's that. They canceled Willow, which I don't really care because.
Oh yeah, Willow. Yeah, Willow. Yeah, the Willow TV show. Is only getting a season. It's just only got one season, which I think is okay. I think it probably would have been better as a movie, but that's just me. But
maybe.
Sorry, Charlie.
Anyway, we're almost done with this. You know where to find me. We're just gonna finish this bit off. Once again, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching. We'll a couple days. Surprisingly, recording it through this worked. Unlike the last time where I was recording it off Movavi, but yeah. And I do, yeah, I'm looking for it. I know for a fact that the new Spider-Man game is not going to come out for PS4. It's probably going to come out strictly for the PS5.
Probably. I think they're going to stop production on PS4 stuff soon.
Well, I mean, the PS4 has been out since 2013. So the PS4 has been out for 10 years.
Yeah, and only two different versions, unlike the way they did with the 360 and the Xbox One and stuff. So
oh yeah, no.
Sorry, Charlie. Is everything a joke to you?
Yeah, no. I'm like, yeah, it's understandable. Look how long the PS2 was out for before they finally started, releasing.
And there was only two versions of that too.
The bulky PS2 and then the PS2 Slim.
Yep.
Which I still have up in my closet. And
mine's plugged in and ready to go.
I have the silver one. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the previous episodes of Spider-Man PS4, and yeah.
Michaels is in the Bowery somewhere. Sable's moving him tomorrow at noon.
Awesome. Anything else? Was he saying something about Grand Central before I jumped in?
He was... No. It was nothing. Listen, I gotta go, Peter. Filing deadline.
Peter. That's how you know she's still mad. Peter. Nice work, Mr. Superhero. Man, I'm worked up. Gotta blow off some steam on patrol.